Second, I want to go through the rate of growth and how it really is decreasing, and I've really got to go fast here. Okay, so we had a total fertility rate of 5 in 1960. It dropped to 3 children per woman in 1995, and now the good news is it's already down to 2.54 in 2010. That's even just since 1995. That's a sharp drop off. Maybe not quite as steep as this was. Now, 2.1 children per woman is the replacement rate. Each woman should have 2 children, one to replace herself and one for her husband. And then because many women die before they have kids, if each woman has 2.1 children, that will basically keep a population in equilibrium where it's neither growing nor shrinking. Hello. Why isn't it changing? Okay, so just because the growth rate has decreased doesn't mean we're not still growing. We're still adding 80 million people per year, even though we've changed the growth rate dramatically. So the blue line here is the growth rate. The pink bars are the number of people added in each of these periods of time. Now the growth rate is comparable to the rate of speed I might be driving on a highway. And the pink bars are the number of miles I rack up per hour. So I drove this fast, I was driving this fast, and I maybe traveled 45 miles. I was driving this fast, and I traveled 50 miles or something like that. Anyway, these are the number of miles I'm traveling. These are the miles per hour. So this is my rate of speed, and here I almost got a speeding ticket. I was going so fast, and now I've slowed down. But I'm still moving. My car is not stopped, and I'm still moving. This is population growth rate in percent. This is not TFR, the total number of children per woman. So this is a percentage rate of the total world population. So until the percent drops to 0, we are still going to be adding people every year. And students seem to get very confused about that. Just because the growth rate has gone down, my speed has gone down, doesn't mean we've stopped moving altogether. Until my car stops, I'm still adding miles, and until this population growth rate in percentage terms drops to 0, I will still be adding people. Okay, quickly, the projections. One projection is that the rate of the number of children per woman could fall as low as 1.6 children per woman by 2050. UN projects that the medium rate would be 2.25 kids per woman by 2050, and their high rate is 2.75 children per woman. Now this makes a big difference. The difference between 2.25 and 2.75 is just half a child. But this is very sensitive to how many children per woman the average woman has worldwide, because it makes a big difference. Now we'll see what happens. So this is the actual number of people, and the 3 projections. The green projection is the number of people if we follow the green growth rate. Black bars would be following the black growth rate, and red bars follow the red growth rate. So if we follow and end up with 1.6 children per woman, then we end up with 7.5 billion people on the planet by the year 2050. If, however, we go just a little bit higher, and instead of 1.6 children per woman, we average 2.25 children per woman, we end up with almost 2 billion more people on the planet. So just about half a child more, and you end up with 2 billion more people. And likewise, the same thing happens if you end up with 2.75 children per woman instead of 2.25. And here, whew, it goes up, and you'll end up with 11 billion people. Okay, you can see here that we've got 2 S curves and 1 J curve. We have, this is the J curve, or this is the S curve if we have a low rate of growth. Here's 2.25 children per woman, and here's 2.75 children per woman. That looks about like an exponential curve to me, where we haven't leveled off. So I'm hoping that either the black or preferably even the green will be the case, because I think we'll have an easier time feeding them. And I personally don't like the idea of having lots of children if we can't afford to feed them. If they're not fed, then I just don't believe in having them. So that's the difference between the three projections. Next, I'll go into the impact of improving the literacy and status of women to reduce growth rates. Afghanistan, where 2/3 of the population in 2005 were under the age of 30. That's an incredible number of youth. And these 6 children are in Yemen, where they also have a very high rate of population growth, over 3%. These 12-year-old girls will have an average of 6.5 children in the next 15 years. Together, these 6 girls are likely to have 39 kids. 2/3 of illiterate adults worldwide are women. 60% of farming worldwide is done by women. Women who can't read the packages of pesticides and fertilizers and don't know how much fertilizer or pesticide to put on. They can't read market reports to know what they could sell in the market. Women are much more likely to be poor worldwide than men. Women are the ones who collect the water, tend the crops, and tend the livestock. Change the lot of women, and you change the world. Births per woman by highest level of education shows clearly that when there's no education in a country, you have a much higher birth rate. So these are the women who haven't been to school, and the blue bars are secondary or higher education. They have much fewer children, far fewer children. And the UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said, "There is no tool for development more effective than the empowerment of women and girls." And that's where I'd like to end it. Thank you.